that the women in the great state of Kentucky think that having a child is a quote perk. It is not a perk. And too many of us have been fired, thrown out of the room, told not to come back because you dared to have a child. Many women have sick children, and when they're sick, they need their mother. If your child is traumatized, if your child is sick, what's wrong with giving them paid leave to be there, to be with them? We both know that most women have to work. Most women have to work. Most families depend on two incomes. They can't make it on one income. I have federal employees call me asking, when is the bill going to pass so I can have a child? They can't even afford to have a child to take because they're going to be fired. They're not going to be paid when they're out with their child, and they need to be with their child in those critical first weeks of life. This is not a perk we're talking about. My brother was in Vietnam. When he was deployed, it was traumatic to his family. They would have liked to have been with him. They would have liked the time to adjust with 3 small children, but he was sent into the war zone. So, I mean, deployment of our military is serious business. It's not a perk. It's a crisis in most families. And what we're talking about is balanced policies that I will say that most countries in the world already have, even third world countries. We're the greatest country in the world. Can't we respect our workers? And I would like to respond to my colleagues on the other side of the aisle that are always very protective of the private sector, and I am too. They're very important. They pay all the taxes for this country. But the private sector is far ahead of the public sector and how they treat their employees. They have in-building daycare centers. They have birthing. They have milking centers. They have support. They have paid leave. They have, working from your home leave. They have all of these things that the federal government does not have. And let me tell you, when I had my first child and went to personnel to talk about leave, they said, leave, we just want you to leave. I said, I don't want to leave. They said, you will be the first person in the history of this establishment that has had a baby and come back. I said, I am coming back. They said, well, you can apply for disability. I said, having a child is not a disability. It is a joy. It is a family value. It is something we should celebrate, not punish women for. We should celebrate them, give them the support that they so justly deserve in our society. We talk about family values. Where are they? My whole life, I have fought for balance between work and family because I suffered it in my own family. Only recently are people seriously talking about it. When President Biden announced it, I felt like I'd died and gone to heaven. That all of these issues that I had cared about for work-family balance were being talked about seriously by the President of the United States. It is our job to try to implement them. And that is what we are doing today. And if you do a study comparing the private sector to the public sector, the private sector is doing a much better job in adjusting and really doing work-family balance within their companies. Most of them have paid leave. Most of them have on-campus daycare. Most of them have all kinds of services for their employees, and the federal government needs to keep pace. We know that we can't pay the same salary as the private sector. We know that. We have to find people that are committed to public service, but we also have to help them balance their families with the work that they have.